Am I the asshole for choosing other women over my cousin? Even though she's my cousin? For 6 years, I, 28M, lived with my favorite cousin Carly, 25F. I covered almost everything: rent, utilities, groceries, while she paid $400 a month in a city where min rent is $2,200. I'm in a financially better situation, so this was never really an issue. Then one night, after I came home around 3 a.m. from a date, I came home to find Carly threw food all over my bed because I made her waste her time by not knowing she cooked for us. That was the moment I realized something was very wrong. Firstly, I could save more by living on my own, but secondly, Carly was either insane or acting like a jealous girlfriend instead of a cousin. When our lease ended, I tried setting one small boundary: that she would contribute a little more, that being $600 instead of $400, and that we move closer to my job. She refused to compromise on a single thing. Meanwhile, my now girlfriend also wanted to move in. Carly said this was a non-negotiable, and the girlfriend could not move in. So I made the choice that made sense, and my cousin moved back home with her parents, and my girlfriend moved in with me. My cousin went full no contact for months, until I later broke up with the girlfriend I was living with and reconnected with my high school sweetheart. Was it the best choice? No, but it was my first girlfriend, and we had previously dated for 7 years. She also happens to be Carly's ex-best friend. Suddenly Carly came back around, not to talk, but to accuse me of choosing other women over her and betraying her. To be clear, she's my cousin, and I feel she's acting like I cheated on her. At this point, it's been a year. We've only awkwardly seen each other at family gatherings. And my family has now suggested, if I want to continue going to these family gatherings, not to bring my current girlfriend, as it upsets Carly. Am I the asshole, or is this as bizarre as it feels? Should I accept the family terms as it is her family too? Seems Carly has feelings for you and is having mental health problems. A cousin does not act this way. Family is not seeing the real picture. Since they don't want you to bring girlfriend, cause Carly will get upset. Good luck. Not the asshole. Your family is doing the whole "don't rock the boat" shtick. Feel free to remind them that Carly is acting more like an ex-girlfriend and less like a cousin, and that they may be okay with incest, but you sure aren't, and you are going to treat Carly like a cousin, which means not indulging her in her weird enmeshment with you. Not the asshole. Carly's behavior towards you is inappropriate for a roommate, and especially for a cousin. You need to live your life the way you want, and if she feels awkward, she can stay home from family gatherings. Or if everyone thinks you're the bad guy, stop going if she'll be there, and go do something else. Life is too short to deal with that sort of nonsense. You know it's time to relocate when the circus sets up shop in Crazy Town. And yes, she's in love with you. People can't help their feelings, but that's not your fault. I would meet with your family one-on-one to discuss what's going on. Don't meet in groups. Ask them if they think Carly's behavior is normal. They may ask you to give it time before bringing your new girlfriend around, and that's not unreasonable. But I certainly wouldn't make an effort to attend every family event. Make yourself scarce for a while and see if things get better. Not the asshole. Carly has some issues. The thought process of your family telling you that you can't come to gatherings if you bring your girlfriend because it upsets your cousin is weird as well. Instead of policing what you do, they should be trying to get her the help it sounds like she needs. I would distance myself from this entire circus because you have done nothing wrong. You're obviously not an asshole, but this is so strange. Not the asshole. Your cousin is fucking weird. Am I the asshole for refusing to drive my husband home from his colonoscopy? I need some outside perspective. AITA. My husband went to doc back in September. He needs a colonoscopy. I reminded him in October. In NOV, he had yet to schedule. I reminded him again and told him to try to schedule it before end of year because we hit all insurance and basically free. He told me yesterday he's scheduled for 19th. We supposed to be in NE for the holidays. He then said we needed to wait, and then after his colonoscopy, we would drive there. Which means I would be driving 7+ hours by myself in late afternoon and evening. I don't do well at night. I could do it if in the morning. I told him to R/S to after first of year. He said no to help save money. So he then R/S to next Wednesday 17th and said he needed me to pick him up at 12:30. I told him I can't do that because of my job. I am a teacher, and it is one of my busiest times of year. He says I am being rigid, not flexible, and selfish. Also, that I don't care about him. I explained that I can't just leave my class for 30 minutes, especially at the lunch hour. Plus he's going to under general anesthesia. He needs somebody to be with him. Also, what if it takes longer than 30 minutes? He said you would figure it out if it was an emergency. This is not an emergency. I also told him I can't leave that day because I have parents coming in to help with a big project, a party I am leading, and a parent conference after school. All of this was scheduled before his colonoscopy, which he did not check with my schedule. He says it is because I can't talk on the phone. I mentioned that he could do it when I get home. He says they are closed. I get home most days at 3:30. He told me to figure it out because he would do it for me. I told him I wouldn't have given him a week's notice to figure it out for something that's going to require me to take a day off of work. And it's not on me if he waited until last minute to get it scheduled. I told him to reschedule for the first of the year, and I didn't care if we'd have to pay more, because at this point in time, there's not a lot of options with the holidays. He said no and figure it out. I said no. He says I am a shit because family first, and now isn't talking me. You're not the asshole. He's the one who couldn't get his shit together and schedule it for a time that wasn't totally inconvenient. Your husband and his asshole are the assholes. You're not the asshole. He can still leverage the insurance prior to the end of the year by getting a friend to drive him home. That's assuming he has friends, which may be unlikely based on how he treats you. Still doesn't address the drive to NE for the holidays right after his procedure, but that just makes him more the asshole for forcing you to do the entire drive. Is he always this disrespectful of your time and your opinion? He sounds unbearably rude to just flat out take no responsibility for his own procedure and just putting it all on you. Not the asshole. He would do it for you, but he didn't care enough about your schedule to check before, or to book it months ago when he should have. I should clarify that I don't mind talking off work to be there, but this next week is the worst possible week. Also, my husband is saying I don't care about him because I am not prioritizing my family. Not the asshole. His lack of planning does not constitute an emergency on your part. Would I be the asshole telling my ex-husband's fiancé he's using the diamond from my ring from our marriage? Ex-husband and I have been divorced for 2 years, separated for 4. During mediation, he wanted the 2.5 CT diamond back from the engagement/wedding ring he gave me, and I agreed. We co-parent our 2 kids relatively well, but overall, he terrifies me and can be vengeful. I hope he's nice to whatever partner he's with, and treats them better than he did me. He recently got engaged to someone he's only been dating for roughly 6 months. The kids had no idea he was going to propose. They've been living together the past 3 months. The way I found out was through the kids, whereas I prefer to give co-parenting heads-ups on things that would impact the kids. My daughter voluntarily said that the diamond looks a lot like mine. It did have distinct occlusions. If I see his new fiancé and confirm that the diamond is my old one, part of me wants to be like, dang girl, he used the same diamond? You deserve better. But then again it would be a bit petty and could stir some unwanted contention. If I was in her shoes though, I would want to know. My inclination is that he wouldn't disclose that to her about the ring. What would you do? If I said something Wibda? YWBTA to yourself and your kids. Forget about his fiancé. You want to intentionally provoke a man you are terrified of? Seems like an incredibly stupid move. It's not your business, and frankly if my partner's ex told me this I would just think she's miserable, bitter and jealous. Who cares? How do you know he hasn't discussed this with her? Why do you feel like this is even your business? He terrifies you and is vengeful? YWBTA if you risked your own and your kids' safety for this. You are the asshole. What him and his fiancé do is none of your business. Your only goal here is to stir up drama. Don't be that ex-wife. Focus on being good co-parents, and ask yourself if mocking his new wife is helping you in your goal of being better co-parents. First you say you're scared because he can be vengeful, and then you talk about wanting to go out for your way to throw him under the bus and start drama. A little counterintuitive, don't you think? Yubda. Let it go and focus on parenting. You are the asshole. You say he terrifies you, but you're trying to rile him up? You say you co-parent well, and you're willing to upset that just to be petty to a woman that hasn't done anything to you? Just because you'd want to know doesn't mean that she wants to know. And diamonds can and should be reused, like are we going to throw out all diamond rings that have been previously worn by someone else? Am I the asshole for moving a student to a different table without asking for permission from his mother? I am an elementary school teacher. One of my students, who we'll call Carson, is 6. Recently, I noticed he was showing signs of being on the autism spectrum. Carson avoids eye contact, flaps his hands when anxious, gets overwhelmed in noisy situations. However, what really stuck out to me was the trouble he has when it comes to my classroom's fluorescent lighting. Some of the other kids have teased him because of these behaviors. I brought this up during a parent-teacher conference with his mom. I explained that I thought Carson might need some accommodations to thrive, especially around sensory stuff. She got very defensive and insisted that Carson is normal and not like Trevor, his 9-year-old brother who's in a special program because he is nonverbal and has autism. I moved Carson to a table in a corner of the room where the overhead lights could be off, and I provided a lamp for him to work under. Since then, he's been much calmer, focused, and finally genuinely happy at school. When his mom found out, she sent an angry email demanding that Carson be moved back to his original spot. She insists he has no issues and refuses to accept that he needs this accommodation. I explained that he can only get his work done in the quieter, dimmer space, but she's refusing to listen and says I'm singling him out unnecessarily, and that nothing is wrong with him. She insists that I should have asked for permission first, but because of how dismissive she was of my other recommendations, I didn't go that route. I'm just trying to help him succeed and feel comfortable at school, but his mom thinks I'm overstepping. Am I the asshole? I love how thoughtful and accommodating you are. What a wonderful teacher. Your principal gets the big bucks to deal with this stuff, so I would let him or her do that. Let the admin staff know what's going on, what your interactions with mom have been, and why you made the change that you did, plus let them know how much better he is doing now. Hopefully, for this child's sake, they will have your back. Signed, the mother of an ADHD kid who treasured every teacher who fought to help my child succeed. Edit for spelling error. Not the asshole. This reminds me why terms like high/low functioning are deprecated. High functioning is used to deny support. Low functioning is used to deny agency. And here we see it in action. They don't have the same visible difficulties as their brother, so they deny support. Not the asshole, it's your classroom. You're the teacher and you decide who sits where, why, and when, not the parents. Not the asshole. As a parent, I feel it's your classroom, and you should run it in whatever way works best for you and the students as a whole. On a personal note, I'm not on the spectrum, but got migraines regularly as a tween/teen. Fluorescent lights exacerbated the problem. I'd have done much better in school and showed up more often if I'd had the option to use a lamp instead. Not the asshole. As someone whose autism symptoms went either unnoticed or ignored as a child, thank you for doing what you can to help that kid. You're the best kind of teacher, and he will likely remember you helping him and be beyond grateful when he is older. Not the asshole. It is your classroom, and you get to choose where students sit.